Kia ora and ahoy everybody! Today we're taking a look at another classic LEGO SpongeBob set. This here is set 3825, the Krusty Krab, which released way back in 2006 for the brand new and fancy LEGO SpongeBob line of sets. This here is a Wave 1 release, and it's the oldest LEGO SpongeBob set that I'm covering on this channel. And this is the first set that we're looking at from the year 2006, which makes this a rather special one. You're looking at 295 pieces in total, with just 3 minifigures based on a technicality there, and only one of them was exclusive to this set. Back in the day, this here retailed for $20 USD before tax in 2006. That translated to about $36 NZD back then. I don't know what the prices were like for LEGO in 2006, but eventually any set that was priced at $20 USD became $50 NZD, so I'll go with my gut instinct here and say that this was probably between 40 to 50 NZD in 2006. Nowadays, if you wanted this thing in sealed condition, you're looking at $600 NZD. That's a lot of money to be spending on an old toy. In open condition, while still expensive, it's a lot better than $600. This can be found for 180 NZD. I received mine for Christmas way back in, I think, maybe 2009. I got this along with that Good Neighbors set, which I just recently looked at on the channel. You see, back then it was a lot easier to get your hands on older retired sets for affordable prices. The artificial value that adult fans have designated onto LEGO hadn't quite hit the market yet. The Krusty Krab is the most beloved iconic landmark from the kids show SpongeBob SquarePants, so much so that a Krusty Krab remake set idea has been submitted into the LEGO Ideas program multiple times now. That project by Lanco has always been receiving my vote. I believe it was even mentioned here on this channel a couple times. Licensing issues appear to be what's in the way here. The current demo that LEGO seem to be targeting are 20 to 30 year olds with disposable income, and I know that they would go nuts for a SpongeBob release. And the comparison made between the official playset model here and the Ideas submission definitely makes you look at this one twice over. It's an unfair comparison because of how amazing that Ideas submission is, and given it was released in 2006, I think it's pretty amazing for the time. There's some great elements here that allow for some roleplay with your figures, and the display model looked right at home alongside the houses. Let's get into actually talking about the set though, because tragically, age has not been kind for the SpongeBob line. And this here is a pretty great example to show off why fans of LEGO are always cautious about brittle bricks and stickers. The SpongeBob line was one of their best when it came to making exteriors looking very authentic to their show. Unfortunately, these were always followed by some very shallow interiors, which made you understand why they worked so hard on making that exterior view so perfect. This set here does feature some good functionality towards it though, with some interactive features that make the playset quite fun to play around with, realistically the most important aspect of LEGO before the 2010s. Out front we've got a basket full of Krabby Patties right next to the enter sign, so immediately we get to speak about stickers. The Krusty Krab here features quite a few to help emphasize that famous beloved cartoon art direction from the show. We've got a couple of flags up top here on the roof, and of course we have the sign of the Krusty Krab itself built into a clamshell-like design. The problem is with the quality of those stickers. The clamshell design is really cool, something that feels really obvious that you would have to do for a Krusty Krab, but amazingly they did skip this when it came to remaking the set a couple years later. The clamshell is built on hinges, so it can achieve that design there. The clamshell in the show appears a bit more pink than white, so I do wish they could have accurately depicted this a little bit better, but maybe there were limitations at the time or something, and that's what ultimately led to this one. Looking at this all these years later though, it just breaks my heart. You can see the stickers here for the designs. Like I mentioned, the quality was so poor and they have not aged well at all. Most people's LEGO SpongeBob sets do feature peeling stickers. Mine specifically happen to be all of the stickers with white backgrounds. The material there turned brittle, and now I'm left with this. A good example of this are the flags there. The other flags don't seem to feature any issues at all, at least to the same degree as the front ones. The enter sticker is also in pretty good condition all these years later, a very unfortunate thing of the past with those white prints. As for some extra details there, off to the side we've got 2 different types of trash containers, a bin on this side there featuring some studs that resemble garbage. On the other side we have a dumpster build, which is built in green, that staple color for me when I think of a cartoon dumpster. A very simple and effective build today, using a jousting stick there with 2 flag pieces for the lid. On the inside we've got some remaining pieces that I forgot to add to the set, which is entirely on me, but that's what happens when you spend hours a day over the course of December putting all of your old sets back together. You miss a thing or two. The dumpster there can be placed onto the side section, which I really like. It helps make it feel quite natural there. I forgot to mention that this set here does contain a special 16 by 32 base plate there in sand yellow, which fits the style of the show quite well. It also means that breaking the set down takes up quite a lot of room, because while the pieces can all fit in a small bag, that base plate there makes it rather impossible to pack away efficiently. The plate was only released in one other set, and it turns out it was another SpongeBob set, the Emergency Room, which released I think a year or two later. Another great set that I'm happy to have in my collection, though unfortunately I've only got like a quarter of that ambulance set. And back to the Krusty Krab, these doors here really fascinated me because I just couldn't recall if I'd seen them in anything before. The doors appear to have been used in builds like the Creator line and more of the display model type releases for houses and such. A few interesting releases there though. The City Docks there from 2007 appears to use them, and also only one door piece is used for the modular release from 2007, the Cafe Corner. I thought that was an interesting release. It means that the left door there is used in 5 sets in total, but the right door is used in 6. We can enter the interior space now, which might be one of the most detailed in the SpongeBob line, especially when compared to sets like the houses and the boating school. It's just as minimal in areas though, but still, a side build is quite the rarity with the SpongeBob line. I'm going to first remove the fry cooker and cash register so that we can see what the Krusty Krab looks like without it, because actually the set never mentions to have that side build connect onto the base plate. That's entirely my doing. It's this wide open area that you're left with. We start with the safe off to the side there, which has some discoloration over the years. Not sure if I've used the wrong bricks here or not. It uses the cool padlock piece on the front, which I don't think they use anymore. And inside we've got a decent amount of money, though the size of the safe and the contents inside do make it feel like it's nothing. Mr. Krabs appears here to have $200 in cash split across 2 notes, and around $90 in coins, or possibly 90 cents. The minifigure can hold onto the notes, but he can't hold the coins. And then behind the safe there we've got a seating spot for a customer. It features a red chair and a red cup. The table is built on a hinge so that you can raise that table up, and if we go back outside real quick, we can see that underneath the table is the secret hiding spot for the Krabby Patty secret formula, provided on a tile brick as a sticker piece, which is fun to see now because of course in 2025 we actually do have a bottle piece in LEGO, so if built today this would probably be an entirely different inclusion. On the other side it's a bit more of the same really, lesser features though. A couple of different styles of chairs used for some reason compared to the one that we just looked at, and there's a new table design here too, as opposed to the bench there. The side here does feature some condiments for the establishment. I'm taking a guess here and saying that it's ketchup, and because we're under the sea, maybe tartare sauce. It's time to take a look at that cool inclusion of the side build there. This is the front register and the grill. There's enough room here for both SpongeBob and Squidward. Another sticker here in that classic SpongeBob font, and it was a piece I was actually missing for some years until I found it just back in December. The register there is almost built like a boatmobile from the other set. Squidward is able to be placed in that station like so, and there's a broom there for cleaning up on the side too. SpongeBob goes behind this build here where he can flip the burgers, one last sticker there for some machinery. There's a play function here in which you can push down on this lever and send a burger flying. Technic parts all connect these things together, and if you push down hard enough, that patty can actually stay in place, which is why nothing seems to be happening here. It does work though. If I loosen that patty, SpongeBob can literally send the burgers flying once they've all been made. And remember that out front you have a bunch more burgers ready to be sent flying. The minifigures here would all be remade and redone and re-released later on down the line. Only Mr. Krabs here is listed as being an exclusive, but he's still featured a couple of releases in the theme in total. So first up here is SpongeBob in his basic I'm ready look, that's at least according to Brickset. The figure there appeared in 3 sets in total. Despite being the more common SpongeBob variant released, this is actually the first time that we're seeing him on this channel. He has always been a favorite minifigure of mine for that strange design, which I've said before may not match entirely, and I don't think it's an exact translation, but I do love the swing here that was taken for the figure, and I think it does work within the realm of LEGO. For those who don't know, SpongeBob there is built using a sandwich board-like design. This piece there covers a regular minifigure torso. The one thing missing from this figure is something in the form of a hat. I really wish LEGO had figured something out there for us. People online have built their own designs just using general pieces, so something for me to consider here to make him perfect. And now we'll take a look at one of the scariest LEGO minifigures ever produced. This here is Squidward, who was included in both this set and the original SpongeBob Pineapple set from way back when. Squidward here is a bad figure, I'll just come right out and say it. To be fair to them, I think maybe this was the best that they thought they could possibly do at the time, but even saying that feels crazy to me. Everyone else had specially molded heads that LEGO would just reuse later because of how much they nailed them. Patrick, SpongeBob, Krabs, they all featured a very special design. So it couldn't necessarily just be a dated design thing. Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob in this very set both feature specially molded parts that were made just for them. I don't really know what happened here or how this happened, but this Squidward figure has gone down in LEGO's history as one of their weakest translations. But thankfully we did see a remake. It's one of my all-time favorite minifigures, so all is forgiven here when it comes to this guy. So this here is Mr. Krabs, and similar to my feelings with Patrick, for me at least, I just don't think it works all that well. Mr. Krabs here features shorter legs compared to Squidward, which I think works really well for that figure, and actually, looking at that source material there, I think they did get the sizes correct there. The issue I have are with the hands. Mr. Krabs the minifigure doesn't feature the crab claws, which I think is a bit distracting and it takes away from that character. I believe at the time it's because we didn't feature claws or anything, so it makes sense. We would eventually see claw hands introduced with the release of, I think, things like Pirates of the Caribbean. From my quick research, it looks like Davy Jones was one of the first figures released with the claw hand. Eventually that thing would be painted red and used for the fly monster in the CMF series, which would be perfect for Mr. Krabs there. I did also find this really cool looking claw hand piece, which is one where the minifigure holds onto it instead of it replacing the hand entirely. It was only ever used in one Atlanta set though for a lobster monster thing. It's an awesome looking figure and a great looking piece, and it's a shame that these hands weren't also used for Mr. Krabs, but the SpongeBob line was ending right around the time that that set was releasing. This would hopefully be something that LEGO would fix if they ever adapt SpongeBob again in the future. Finally, we have here Plankton, who the set does consider a figure inclusion, but not a minifigure. He's literally just a LEGO round brick element, and also used again in the Chum Bucket, so he wasn't exclusive here either. There's nothing much else to say here really. I think it's amazing that they printed him on a brick, and really, what else could you ask for when it comes to making a Plankton figure? It's really cool that he was actually included in a set like this. The instructions for the set there, we have some underwater theming and the flowers up there in the corners. For those who haven't built an older LEGO set before, they originally didn't used to show you what the next pieces were needed up in the corners, so back in these days you really had to pay attention to your build in order to follow what's actually going on. The back there features the set all built up, and the inventory list there on the other pages. We end with a promo for winning some sets, but I wanted to cover the old sets there because it's pretty cool to see them all here. We've got some classic races theme there, Dino 2010, which was a very popular action theme at the time, and Bionicle, in which all of the figures there were replaced with minifigure-like releases. Pretty cool stuff and classic as well. Then the back has advertisements for the LEGO Club magazine there, and the LEGO Shop at Home site. Nice. Like with most of the LEGO SpongeBob sets or LEGO sets in general, once you populate them with extra figures, the display becomes a bit more exciting. That there was my coverage of the LEGO Krusty Krab set from the original LEGO SpongeBob line. My fingers have been crossed now for years for a definitive remake of the set with all the details that a fan like me could ever ask for. I'm surprised with how well this release holds up though. It actually does manage to represent the source material pretty well in my eyes, and on display, I think it looks great alongside the home and sharing space with other animated things that I really love. If you enjoyed this look at a LEGO SpongeBob release, liking this video here and subscribing to the channel does help to support more videos like this one in the future. Ka kite ana everyone, take care, hope to see you all next time.